Yo, my guy, what's up? Charlie, they have issues creating designs with Photoshop. Wow. I'm making no worry. Today, as a day, they can walk you through the basics of Photoshop. And they can break Photoshop down for you step by step, make you understand the interface, then the use of every tools. So say you can also create those wild designs you see on billboards and those designs you see being posted on social media. So make you open Photoshop and let's dive in. So when you launch Photoshop, this is what it welcomes you with. This is the home screen. So with the home screen, when you look at the left hand side of the screen, you could see open and new. Open basically means maybe you have an existing project you work on. You want to open them, yes. You just go click on open and it will open that. You can open that project. And new file basically means creating a whole new design from scratch or a whole new artwork from scratch. So you click on them, it will come up with another window. This is where you can put in your sizes for the design you're about to create. So you can put in your width, your height, and your resolution. Also, Photoshop has some preset sizes that it comes with. So if you are working on a photo project, you could choose from these presets: landscape, portrait, based on what you are working on. You come to print, we have A4, legal, letter, A5, A3. These are basically those traditional papers that you and I will know. Like those days we did school, we say on exam papers they print for A4 top. Yeah, so this is A4. So these are those kind of papers. If you work on any office work, maybe letterhead or those things, you will choose those sizes with to work on that project. We come at an illustration now. These are also other preset sizes that you could use for either poster, postcard, 1080p, 720p. Based on what you are working on, you choose the sizes too. Then web, these are website sizes. So maybe they work on some website project. If you can choose these preset sizes we already did on the software. Then we come mobile. Mobile too, they see various mobile phone sizes. So let's say they work on some app, they develop some app, or they work on some UI designs, or they work on some wallpaper and stuff like that. If you can choose this mobile preset sizes and work on those things. Then film and video. So these are video sizes, various video sizes, talking about 1080p, 4K, 2K. Yeah, so maybe let's say they work on some lower third for a video, YouTube thumbnail. Yeah, if you can choose these sizes for here, then do your thing. Okay, but for the purpose of this software, for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to go with the default Photoshop size. Yes, so let's get into the workspace of the software. So yes, this is the workspace of the software. The white space you see for here no, be your Canva. So the size that we created, no, this is it here. So this is where all the magic they happen from. Your design elements where you go import them into the designs, or this is where they will appear for your photos, your background colors, your text. All those things will appear on this canvas. Then look at my left. You look at your left hand side. You see some icons that has been lined up here. This is the tools bar. So all these things are the tools. These are the things that will help you create the design that you want to create. These are the tools which will help you edit whatever you want to edit, being it photography, or maybe you do some digital art or creating some flyers. These are the tools that will help you through that process. Then we come right above the toolbar. This be the option bar. So the option bar basically corresponds to the tools bar. So every tool you see for here gets extra options which appears on the tools bar when you click on it or when you choose it. So you see, if I click on crop tool, it gives me an additional options on the options bar. When I click on the pen tool, it gives me additional options on the tools bar. So every tool here has an additional options that comes up on the tools bar. So whenever you are working, you'll be using all of them to create your project. Right above that too, we have the menu bar. The menu bar is where you can access everything on the software. So talking about file, edit, image, layer, type, select, filter, etc. Yes, in my subsequent lessons, I'll go into details of what all these things they do, but they are self-explanatory. So file, you see new, open, edit, you see maybe you want to some copy and paste, you copy something, you want to paste it, you come here, all these things shows here. Yes. And when you come to your right hand side of the screen now, this is the properties, adjustments, and layers panel. Here, the most important panel on this panels, it's the layers panel. Layers, think about it like a sheet of paper that has been stuck on each other. So whatever design element that you import onto your workspace, it will appear here, right on top of each other. So based on the arrangement, it will all be lined up here, all your elements. If you want to apply some effects and stuff like that onto your design, all those things will be done here. So the layer panel is one of the most important things in Photoshop. Okay. Now I want to take you through the use of every tool step by step, the use of every tool and their shortcuts on the keyboard. Briefly, I'm just going to explain them to you, but in my subsequent lessons we are going to go into details what each and every tool does and how you can use it in your workspace and how you can use it to create the magic that you've been imagining in your head. So when we come to the first tool, that is the move tool. As I hover my mouse on it, you can see that it has given me the name of the tool. That's move tool. The shortcut for the move tool is V on the keyboard. So the move tool, basically, like the name says, move. So you want to move anything on your canvas, you select the move tool to move it around. And also, if you want to enlarge something too, is the move tool that you can use to enlarge that thing or compress that thing, make it bigger or small. It's the use of the move tool that you can use for that. And you can see there's a small arrow beside the move tool. When I right click it, it's going to give me options under the move tool. So whenever you see a tool with that small arrow, means there's another additional tool under that particular tool. Yeah, so we have the move tool, we have the artboard. The artboard, it also has its own function and what it does. Then we come the next tool, that's the rectangle marquee tool. This tool is used to make selections, but it makes the selections in a rectangle form, so something like this. So you want to make a selection on your photo or stuff like that, you use the rectangle marquee tool, but it only makes the selection in a rectangle tool. That's why the name says rectangle marquee tool. And when I right click it, there are also other tools under the rectangle marquee tool. We have the elliptical marquee tool, the single row marquee tool, and you have the single column marquee tool. But the most important ones you might be using most often is the rectangle marquee tool and the elliptical marquee tool, which also selects in a circular form, just as the name says, elliptical. So that's what it also does. The next tool is the brush selection tool. So the selection brush tool. So the selection brush tool, basically, if you want to use it to select, you can use it to select some part of an image. So maybe, but then the usage is like painting on that particular part of the image that you would like to select, just as the demonstration is showing. So make selections with single or multiple brush strokes, ideal for trackpad users and for adding removed content with generative fill. So that's what the the selection brush tool does. The shortcut for the selection brush tool is L. In my subsequent lessons, we will explore these tools more for you to understand it into details. But when I click on and when I right click it, it has other tools under the selection brush tool. You have the lasso tool, the polygon lasso tool, and the magnetic lasso tool. These are all selection tools, and the shortcut is L on the keyboard. The next tool we're going to talk about is the object selection tool. The object selection tool also works like the brush selection tool. It's also used to select an image, an object in an image. Maybe you're working on a particular project, you want to select the image out of the background or stuff like that. This is one of the tools that you can use for that. Also, we have the quick selection tool and the magic wand tool. Yes, they are all selection tools. Based on what you are working on, you can use any of these to make your selection in your design, in the design you are working on. And the keyboard for this tool is W. Okay, the next tool we are going to talk about is the crop tool. So the crop tool basically like the name says, crop. So maybe you want to cut out some part of your canvas or the design you work on, you want to resize it or stuff like that. It's the crop tool that you can use for that. It's either you trim or you expand the edges of whatever you are working on. So when I click on, see that as I clicked on it, it has given me some. As I clicked on it, it has given some margins on the canvas. So when I click and drag it like this, either make it smaller, resizing it smaller, or when I click and drag, it expands it and makes it bigger. So based on what you are working on, you can use the crop tool to either trim or expand the edges of the canvas or your design space. The shortcut for this tool is C on the keyboard. The next tool is the frame tool. This tool, I don't normally use it, but what it does is maybe you want to create a frame for a picture. You want to create a frame to place in a picture. Yes, you can use this frame tool to create that frame. So in order for you to place in your image, and the shortcut for this tool is K on the keyboard. The next tool we'll talk about is the eyedrop tool. This eyedrop tool is used to sample colors from an image. So let's say you are working on a design, and then there is a particular color in that design. There's a particular color on an image you would like to apply on your design. So you pick the eyedrop tool and just sample it to give you the exact color that you've seen on that particular photo. So what you use for that is the eyedrop tool. And when we right click it, it has other tools underneath it. It has the color sample tool, the ruler tool, the node tool, and the 1, 2, 3 count tool. But all those tools, I haven't really explored them. I haven't really come across a project that I will need them. But the shortcut for this tool is I on the keyboard. You can also explore them on your own. Yes. The next tool we'll talk about is the spot healing brush tool. It removes marks and blemishes. So let's say you are working on this tool. Normally works well when you are working on when you are maybe making a retouch on a photo or stuff like that. That's when you use this spot healing brush tool. So let's say you have a photo that has some spots on the face, on the face of the person in the photo that you want to take it off. You can use the spot healing brush tool to fix that. And the shortcut of this tool on the keyboard is J. When you right click it, underneath we have the remove tool, the healing brush tool, the patch tool, the content aware move tool, then we have the red eye tool. Yes, so these are all other tools that work similarly to the spot healing brush tool. Based on what you are working on, you can choose any of these tools to work on it. I'll talk more about these tools in my subsequent lessons. So kindly stay on this channel with me. The next tool we'll talk about is the brush tool. And the brush tool, I use the brush tool a lot, especially if you are into photo manipulation. You can use the brush tool for a whole lot of things. Either you are making a digital painting, or you are trying to blend two backgrounds together and all that. Is the brush tool that comes in handy when you are working on stuff like that. And the shortcut for this tool is B on the keyboard. Underneath it, we have the pencil tool, the color replacement tool, and the mixer brush tool. These are all tools which I haven't really explored, but the pencil tool is one tool that I normally use also. Creating when I want to create something on my designs freehand, it's the pen tool that I normally click and use here. And then the next tool is the clone stamp tool. A clone stamp tool, basically, if like they work on some design or some photo way, maybe you want clone some patch on the dress in the photo to another part of the dress, you could use the clone stamp tool to make that clone. Yeah, so that's what it does. And say the clone stamp tool paints with pixels from another part of the image. So basically, if you want to pick some stuff from the image to another part of the image, you could use the clone stamp tool to make that adjustment. Yes. Underneath it, we have the pattern stamp tool, which basically works the same as the clone stamp tool. The next one is the history brush tool. So the history brush tool, let's say you use the brush tool and then you made some mistake somewhere, or you brush off some parts you are not supposed to. You can select the history brush tool to brush that particular part back into the design, just as the demonstration is showing here. Restores part of an image to an early state. Then the next tool we talk about is the eraser tool. Just as the eraser tool, just as the name says, eraser. So maybe you want to clean some part of your image, or you want to remove some background in an image, you use the eraser tool to make those changes or those adjustments to your image. And the shortcut for this tool is E on the keyboard. Underneath it, we have the background eraser tool and the magic eraser tool, which all works the same way. Based on what you are working on, you use any of these tools to achieve that. This is the gradient tool. The gradient tool it's basically a tool that we use to blend two colors together. So maybe you are working on a night scene and then you want to have a shade of from a darker blue to a lighter blue. You can select the gradient tool to make to create that color vibe. That'd be how the gradient tool they work. The shortcut for this tool is J on the keyboard. Yeah, underneath it we have the paint bucket tool, which we use the paint bucket to apply colors on your design canvas or on your design. The next tool we talk about is the blur tool. Blur tool is a tool I've not really used before, but as the name says, maybe you want to blur a part of your image, maybe the background or stuff like that, so that the subject on that image stands out. So maybe you want to add some depth of field to your image. It's the blur tool that you can. But then there's a way you can also apply the blur on your designs. If you come to fill, blur, we have different types of blurs here that you can also choose to create whatever you are working on. I'll talk more about this in my next lessons, so make you no worry. The next tool we'll talk about is the sharpen tool. The sharpen tool, this tool is used to sharpen part of an image. Maybe you have an image that looks a bit dull, you can use the sharpen tool to sharpen it. Also the smudge tool. These tools basically, if you are into photography, making some retouching and stuff like that, that's when these tools normally comes in handy. Yes. The shortcuts for this tool, okay, it doesn't have a shortcut. Yes. Okay, so the next tool is the adjustment brush tool. These two I haven't really used it before, but I think you can also explore it, because I haven't really worked on anything that I would need it for something. This is what create local adjustment layers. Yeah, so you can explore it on your own too. The next tool we'll talk about is the dodge tool. With regards to the dodge tool, let's say you're working on an image, like I was talking about. If you are into photography, maybe you have some part of the image that is a bit dark. You can use the dodge tool to lighten up that part of the image so that it stands out well. Depending on what you want, you can use the dodge tool to achieve that. Then we have the bend tool. The bend tool also works opposite the dodge tool. So as the dodge tool adds light into your image, the bend tool darkens or adds shadows to where there are no shadows. So based on what you are working on, yes, you can use it to achieve you can use it to achieve what you are after. And the shortcut for this tool is O on the keyboard. The next tool we could talk about be the pen tool. This is one of the most important tools in Photoshop. I can say my favorite tool, because the pen tool is one tool you're going to use a lot because it does a whole lot of things. You can use the pen tool to crop an image out of a background, or you can use it to create a freehand shape, or you can use it to create paths on your design. It does a lot. Yes. It's one of the tools I would recommend that you do your best to learn much about, because it will come in handy. It will come really in handy. The shortcut for this tool is P on the keyboard, and underneath we have the free form pen tool, we have the curvature pen tool, we have the add anchor point tool, then you have the delete anchor point tool. All these things work with the pen tool. They almost work the same. So the delete anchor points, add anchor points. Yeah. So maybe you've drawn something, and then you don't like the shape of that thing. You can use the delete anchor tool to take out the anchor so that it can give you the free will to adjust the shape how you want it. Also, to add an anchor, you can come to the add anchor tool to do. But normally I use the keyboard to do these things when I'm working on them. So I don't really come here to select them like that. But yes, you can explore more of it, and then I'm gonna talk about it in my next lesson. So there's nothing to worry about. The next we are going to talk about is the text tool. So the text tool, like it says text. So you want to add some text on your image or your design, you want to write something, you can use the text tool to do that. Yes, and underneath it we have the vertical type tool, vertical type max tool. Then the vertical type tool is if you want to write in the vertical order, and the horizontal is when we write the normal way we write. Yes, that's when you come for them. Okay, and the shortcut for this tool is T on the keyboard. The next tool we'll talk about is the path selection tool. Select whole path. This normally, let's say you created a shape and then you don't like how the form is, you can use this path selection tool to adjust the anchors to your satisfaction, how you want it. Maybe you've created a circle and then you want the circle. Okay, let me demonstrate a bit of that too. So I create this circle, come to the path selection tool. So I can use the path selection tool to still say so you see say if you use some adjust the paths, the anchor points, you can use it to adjust the anchor point whichever way you want it to look like. Yeah, we'll talk more about this too. Yes, but it's one interesting to try and learn. And then the shortcut for this tool is A on the keyboard. The next tool we'll talk about is the shape tools. So we have the rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, the triangle tool, the polygon tool, the line tool, and the custom shape tool. So these are all shapes. So we're talking about triangle, rectangle, circle, triangle. Yeah, so basically these are all shapes, and the shortcut for these tools is U on the keyboard. The next tool we'll talk about is the hand tool. The hand tool, like the description says, pans over different parts of an image. So let's say you want to, maybe you are working on something, but then you are not really having a lot of space to work on it, or you want to move your canvas around your workspace. You can use the hand tool to do that. You can also hold the space bar to also use the hand tool. Yeah, so basically that's what the hand tool does, just to pan your canvas inside your workspace. Yeah, so that be what the hand basically they do. Then we have the rotate, move this one, view to, maybe you want to rotate it or stuff like that. You can see, see that's what the rotate view to do. Then the next tool we'll talk about is the zoom tool. So like zoom in, zoom out. Yes, with the zoom tool. And the shortcut for this tool is Z on the keyboard. So select. So if some plus, just that it appears, see there or this thing, its extra options appears on the options bar. So say it's on plus. So when I click on it, it will zoom in, and when I select the negative and I click on it, it will zoom out. So that's what the zoom tool did. Okay. So now that I've taken you through the interface and I've explained to you briefly what each and every tool does, I hope say now you go fit create some magic on your own. Yes, say you know really hard like that. If you do understand the interface and everything, Photoshop becomes very, very easy. Okay, so in my subsequent lessons, we're gonna talk more about each and every tool and what it does, so that you can also have a fair idea and understand them more on how to use them to achieve great and better designs. Okay, so Charlie, thanks for watching Kojo Cube Studios. If the tutorial helped you, make you no forget to like, subscribe and share. Make other people to feel learn something. Make you drop comments inside the comment section. I will reply to whatever questions you have. I'm available to answer them to help you also become a pro designer. Alright, so see you in my next lesson. Bye bye.